2 weeks ago, BlackRock filed for a spot Bitcoin ETF. Last week, Wisdomtree also filed for a spot Bitcoin ETF. That renewed interest is helping push Bitcoin over $30,000, highest level in a year. But we know the SEC under Gary Gensler is hostile to the concept of a spot Bitcoin ETF. He's rejected every spot Bitcoin application. So why bother filing? Let's talk with one of the principals behind one of those recent Bitcoin spot ETF filings, Jeremy. I was at a conference a few weeks ago where Gary Gensler spoke. He was actively hostile to crypto, saying it was rife with hucksters, fraudsters, scam artists. Why does Wisdomtree and BlackRock believe you might change Gary Gensler's thinking about this? Jeremy.
Well, they have allowed futures-based ETFs. Now, the question is, why have they been so against the spot market? And you go into, the rejections that they've had. We've had some experience with some of the rejections. And, they talk about manipulation of prices, and they really want exchanges that are sharing information to question this market manipulation. So I think one of the things that the recent filings have in common, without talking about any specific filing, is that they're trying to have data sharing surveillance agreements between exchanges to help make the SEC comfortable with this question about price manipulation. They got there on the futures market, and the futures market is based off of spot prices, right? So they were able to get comfortable, but part of that is because the futures market is sharing information with the SEC. Yeah. So I think as you see that unfold, that's going to be one of the key points that we think of these new applications.
And of course, I should say, Jeremy Schwartz, introducing you, your Wisdomtree's global CIO. I guess the question is, what tweaks to the application process have you made that might differentiate yourself from these recent filings, from other applications for a spot Bitcoin ETF? I mean, they've all been rejected. What is different about yours and BlackRock?
It's hard to comment too much on these things. You have people to go read the details of it, but the key points revolve around this data sharing surveillance and how can we work with the SEC in a way to make them comfortable with the surveillance of those prices.
I think Gensler's basic reason for rejecting Bitcoin ETFs is the space is unregulated and rife with the potential for fraud. How are you going to ameliorate those concerns? How are you going to address those issues? That's his basic position.
Well, he wants these exchanges, he wants more official regulation. So to the extent that they are doing what it traditionally makes people comfortable with traditional regulated exchanges, you see them trying to take actions on coins that they're calling securities. They haven't said that about Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been treated as a commodity, which is why it's trading on that futures market. And so to the extent you can get over their concern each at a time and being regulated in terms of sharing data, I think that's going to be the key for this latest application.
Okay, we're going to have much more on the future of Bitcoin ETF. That's coming up on ETF Edge at 1:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Also joining us